Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in again. Let's get started with another of our Google Home and Google Assistant latest updates and the newest features that have all come out for the Google Home and its suite of products. Alright guys, so if you've never been on Automate Your Life before, what we're here for is to basically give you back that time in your life through home automation, life automation, and all the greatest smart home products. So if you haven't joined us already, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. Join us here on the channel. Now, let's get into the latest updates here from the Google Home. Now, the biggest thing to me this week is actually related to something that we had when the Google Home first came out. You had shopping lists and notes on services like Google Keep. Now, Google Keep integration is coming back. And right now, for many users, if you have the latest version of the Google Assistant application update, then you're going to be able to go in and choose services and pick a notes and list services. And of course, Google Keep is one of those. Now, of course, over time, I'm sure Google and their partners will continue to upgrade the list or the set of list and note applications there. But on top of that, Google has also released another web app, and it's just making its way out into the world basically, but that new web app will also be a list and note taker or keeper. Right now, Spotify, if you go ahead and you sign up for a premium account, they have the ability to get a Google Home Mini. So if you haven't chosen a music service or you're thinking about maybe switching, you can look at this new deal from Spotify and you're going to get a Google Home Mini. One of the reasons I might suggest you look at this is basically Google and all of their products can use Spotify. That's a direct integration and you can always set that as the default music service. On the flip side, if you have any Amazon Echo type of products, it can also be a default music service there. So that's the one that kind of bridges the gap between those two big home automation systems, but ultimately right now you can get a little extra with a Google Home Mini. Something that I feel like I've been talking about forever and I almost don't care, but Sonos has come out and said, okay, we're finally going to get the Google Assistant integrated. We're not going to make the end of the year, but what we will do is open a beta. So there is a beta, and I will leave a link down below in the description to go to that beta. And if you want to sign up and try and get basically to be one of the first users of the Google Assistant on a Sonos product, then you can go ahead and request that. Now they're saying it's only a couple hundred houses at first, or a couple hundred homes at first, and then kind of expanding to a couple thousand, and then launching in 2019. Now, here we are, we're talking about these great products, but the Google Assistant is kind of what powers these all. Right now, what's happening in the market is actually Siri from Apple is the most used smartphone voice assistant. So Google still hasn't broken down that and kind of taken over from Siri, but what the statistics say right now is 44% of uses are Siri, whereas 30% of uses are the Google Assistant. So I think that means that Google has gotten this out to enough devices that they've started to gain a big enough market share here. And the only real problem, I think, is the iPhone, where Apple is just not going to allow that to become the default voice assistant. If you have a August Smart Lock or an August Doorbell Cam Pro, those two products now have additional features with your Google Home and your Google Assistant. The additional features are basically unlocking your door, and that's something that I thought would take a lot longer than it has, but what Google has implemented is basically a security authentication, so a second code or password here that will allow you to unlock your door. On top of that, the Doorbell Cam Pro, the reason that that's included in this update is it is now able to announce your visitors, or that feature is coming here relatively soon. Now, of course, we're all waiting for Google Duplex to show up on our whole suite of Google Assistant enabled devices. We've seen that it's coming to the Pixel 3 here, and then it's going to roll out basically city by city in the US and out from there. Now, the other side of this, and I think this is really critical, and especially if you're a small business owner, you need to be thinking about this right now. There is a Google Assistant setting now showing up on your business listing. And if you think about Google Maps, how people are going to call that, and the integration with these products here, people are going to ask Google Duplex to go ahead and call your business. And if you don't change this setting, you may or may not get those calls from potential customers. So I think it's really important for you to, as a small business owner or as a business owner in general, think about how you're going to handle those calls. What I also think this tells us for 2019, 2020 is that we're likely to see the answering side of Google Duplex start to pick up and integrate with different services. So if you think about taking reservations, well, we have the consumer side already in the Google Home application, but we don't have the commercial side just yet. So Google clearly has a plan for integrating services with businesses related to Google Duplex. And right now, as a business, go make sure that you have that Google Assistant setting updated for your business. If you have an Android tablet, then you already have Google Assistant integration. But if you're one of those people that went out and bought earlier versions of a Chromebook and you have Chrome OS, it hasn't been available for all of your devices, but there's a new flag basically in some of the code that actually says all Chromebooks are going to get the ability to basically turn on an experimental version of Google Assistant on a Chromebook. So this is a massive upgrade if you've had one of those Chromebooks for a while, and I think that's going to be pretty useful actually as deeper and deeper integration occurs. And you think about the new Slate, the Pixel Slate there, clearly Google is trying to take that integration further. So it's good to see the old Chromebooks get this and some new functionality. Now, Google Chromecast isn't a really expensive device to have to go out and upgrade. We know the 3rd generation device came out here with not a lot of fanfare around it, but what has happened is that there's this feature of multi-room audio with the new Chromecasts. The older ones now have basically a rumor, and this is one of the first times I'll talk about a rumor, because it came from the Google support team. They basically said that by the end of 2019, your older Chromecasts are going to be able to be included in multi-room audio. So that's quite a shift for those of us with those older Chromecasts, and I like to see this from Google. Something else related to Chromecasts and these smart displays, you know, you could see my smart display sitting here and it's rolling through basically all of the different pictures that I have in the ambient mode settings. Now, if you have an Android phone and you're using Google Photos and you're taking multiple photos on, say, a walk out in a park or something, what's happening now is Google is associating those pictures together. And so a Chromecast enabled device and a smart display will actually kind of show those at the same time. So there's a little bit of more smarts going into how Google is displaying those photos. And I think this is an interesting shift here. And in my head, I'm trying to still figure out what this means for the future. Now, I've been asked about these speakers a number of times. There's basically an insignia set of speakers that you can go buy from Best Buy, and they come with the Assistant on board. And if you haven't seen these speakers, I'll leave a link down below. Now, they run from $25 to $50 depending on whether or not you're buying the portable version. But what's really interesting about these is they keep getting updated and they keep getting more capable. So Google Home Max has a capability of being a left and right speaker pair. You can actually pair that up. Well, so do these now, and for $50, they've now become a speaker pair and have that capability of creating a really different audio experience. So for $50, this is something to look at, I think, guys. And we're hearing they are getting all the Google Assistant updates for multi-room audio that we're going to see on the other basically Chromecast enabled devices and third-party devices with Google Assistant on board. So really powerful stuff for a very, very low price. And from what I've been told, these are a good value buy. I don't have them here in my home, but from what I understand, good value buy, good speaker for the dollar. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully this has helped you out. Of course, as always, go ahead, click that subscribe button at the end of the video here, and we love to have you on board. And of course, we're here to give you more of your time back. So if I take 10 minutes of your time with one of these videos, my goal is to give you more than that back with some of our home automation or life automation videos. So stay tuned, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.